I never imagined that this little white cat, which once sat waiting by the roadside, would come to share such a special bond with my life. That night on my way home, it suddenly sat right in the middle of the road, as if waiting for something. In the pitch-black night, that patch of white stood out vividly. It just looked at me quietly, showing no sign of leaving. I reached out and stroked it, didn't flinch. Instead, it gently lifted its head in response, with a rare persistence in its eyes. I remembered the old saying that animals blocking your path always have a reason, so I followed my instinct and took a detour from the road I had originally planned to take. Out of curiosity the next day, I drove back to the intersection where I had been stopped the night before. To my surprise, that road was indeed cordoned off, with excavators doing emergency construction. If I had forced my way through last night, the consequences would have been hard to predict. Thank it, I brought some food back to that park. It recognized me from far away. Watching it run toward me, that sense of familiarity didn't feel like a first meeting, it felt more like reuniting with an old friend. Every time it saw the food, it would skillfully stand up on its hind legs and clasp its front paws together, as if begging. It was both pitiful and a little amusing, a snapshot of its daily struggle for survival. Looking more closely, I noticed that although it was plump in shape, its spirit seemed rather low. Every time I called it, it would come running immediately, showing extraordinary intelligence. Watching it bury its face in the canned food, I realized it must have gone through a lot out on the streets. Its once white fur was covered in grime, and both its ears and body bore shallow scars from fights. Even in such a tough situation, it still tried to groom itself, maintaining the last bit of dignity a stray could have. I had planned to leave after feeding it, but as I turned around, I found it had been quietly following me, its eyes carrying a longing for home. After finishing the cat food, I tried to walk away, but it seemed to have already chosen me, sticking close to my feet. No matter how fast I walked, it trotted along in small steps, showing no intention of turning back. Seeing that I wouldn't stop, it suddenly dashed ahead, flipped over onto its back, and blocked my path. It lay there looking up at me, its gaze full of hope for a home. Keep me there, it kept rolling around and showing off, using every gesture to express its affection. Watching it try so hard, I felt a knot in my stomach, but adopting a stray cat meant no small responsibility. Faced with this unexpected bond, I really wasn't mentally prepared at that moment. Sensing my hesitation, it kept rubbing against my legs, as if making one last effort. After closer observation, I noticed that despite its gentle temperament, its physical condition wasn't good. Its breathing also seemed a bit labored. Thinking back to that extraordinary experience, I decided to hesitate no longer and bring it into a new life. The veterinary clinic, the doctor first used a stethoscope to check its heart and lungs. Then came a careful oral and facial examination to assess its long-term nutritional status. After parting the thick fur, the doctor found multiple old wounds from fights with other cats. The doctor said this little white cat had clearly endured a lot living outside. Blood tests were then done to confirm whether it had contracted any serious infectious diseases. Results showed it was unfortunately infected with feline panleukopenia, FPEV, but other organ indicators were relatively stable. Under the microscope, several types of parasites were also found, all traces of its stray life. After treatment and care, this once wounded little stray gradually regained its health. In the days that followed, Big Head began a long recovery process, with many return visits to the hospital. With careful nursing, the stains and ailments on its body gradually faded, revealing its original delicate features. Watching it now gaze quietly at the world outside the window, this is the state it always deserved to have. To help it fight off feline panleukopenia, we had to prepare multiple medications every day. Each dose was a chance to fight for its recovery. Although the treatment process was tedious and demanding, watching it get better day by day made everything worthwhile. Head had always been cooperative with the treatment because it knew that here, there was steady food and care, no more wandering and struggling for survival.